Now that the figure is primed, we're going to apply the base coat. Before we do the base coat, I would just like to say that I do usually mix my own flesh color with white, browns, light browns, dark browns, blues, reds, yellows, and maybe some greens. For the shadows, I would add more brown to the basic flesh mix. For the highlights, I would add some white to the basic flesh mix. But for the sake of the video and time, I'm using Grex's Private Stock Opaque Light Flesh Tone. So now I'm going to load my airbrush with the flesh tone, give it a little shake. Private Stock has its own extender, so I'm going to add a little bit of extender to the paint. I'm also going to add just a little bit of water, plain water. The way I mix paint in the airbrush is called backflow. This is how I mix the paint inside of the airbrush without using any kind of external mixer in the airbrush. So I just cap the cup, hold my finger over the tip, and I push down for air and pull back just a little bit for paint. Now the paint is all mixed up in the airbrush bowl. There's two ways to apply the base coat. The first way is to apply the base coat in an overall even pattern over the entire figure, but not so opaque that you're covering all of the primer. You're allowing some of the primer to show through. The second method to applying the base coat, which is my preferred method, is you apply the base coat in a haphazard way, which results in a blotchy appearance, which breaks up the skin tone, which is the desired effect that I'm going for. As you can see, as I said, I'm spraying the base coat on in an uneven fashion here, which is breaking it up, which is giving a more interesting appearance to the skin tone. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back the airbrush and I'm going to give it an overall general spray, but trying to maintain that splotchiness. Just trying to tie all this together. Now that the base coat is finished, I need to apply a protective layer. This is Tester's Dull Coat. I'm going to apply this in overall even fashion. Now that I've applied the Tester's Dull Coat, I'm just going to use the hair dryer to speed up the drying time.